Hey everybody, welcome back to Sounds Like a Drum, Cadence Independent Media Production, Product Feature Day. Today, we're back with Attack Drumheads, and we're talking about Single-Ply coated Proflex1s. If you've checked out any of our previous Attack videos, you may have actually seen these heads on the kit before, though today this is actually a dedicated demonstration for these specific heads. We have them on the batters coated, we have them underneath clear, and we're basically just going to kind of go deep on all the things that these can do at a few different tunings. These are 10mm Dynaflex film, and they basically are like the do-everything batter head. Because I've played these a little bit in the studio here before, I have a sense of what they do, but I haven't ever put them through their paces before. Like normally I tune them in sort of a medium range, and we wanted to kind of push them to the limits today and see just how low we could go, give us a middle, and see how high we could go too. So let's start off with the middle tuning. This is basically my everything tuning. This is what I would normally do. And one thing I don't normally do is play two rack toms up. I'm having a blast with that. It's super fun. It's a little more melodic. I should mention the snare has the same setup on it. It has a 3mm snare side and the Proflex on the batter. And they sound beautiful. The tone is lovely. The sustain is lovely. And now I want to go down. I want to go down as far as I'll go. It's just above a wrinkle, more or less. We're going to push it just as far as we can. just what I wanted. This isn't about dynamics, it's about them being super punchy when you hit them really hard. Again, giving me exactly what I'm after, but with a little bit of added warmth because of the coating. These are a little brighter to the stick than some other coated heads I've used, which I actually really appreciate, particularly on the 10. Sometimes coated heads on 10s can get a little kind of round sounding, and this one is still giving us plenty of attack. Let's shoot it up the other way. Let's go fusion, kind of high, not like bebop high, but like what I think of as high for this style of drum set. This takes me to wanting to play busy stuff, wanting to play a lot wider dynamics. The snare is cranked and it still sounds great. If you're a person who likes to have things that sort of feel like definitive pitches out of your toms, but you also don't want to have too much sustain or get into issues with like the tonality of the song that you're in, this can be a really great choice for that because they're tight, they're clear sounding, the attack is nice, and there's actually plenty of them even in the room mics. Like we're actually not even really leaning on the close mics on these at all. The number one thing that I notice about these heads, particularly on these drums, is a clarity and purity of tone out of them. I think of, for me, as a 10 mil coated batter and a 10 mil clear on the bottom of toms as sort of like my starting point for like my idea of what a drum sounds like fundamentally. That's a personal choice, but it happens to be mine. And with these drums, the clarity at all of these tunings and all of these ranges and the dynamics through those as well is giving me something that I haven't really experienced before, and I've played these drums a lot with a lot of different heads and several different kinds of single-ply coated batters too. Because of the construction and the collar and everything, I find these heads super duper easy to tune, and for my money, they're actually my favorite on the 16 on this kit. We've had a lot of different coated heads on there, and this particular batter has just made me happy every time we've put it on there. We've had ones that were fairly worn in that we've used for some videos. We've put brand new ones on, you know, like today, and it basically does exactly what I want to happen out of a 16, even at a lot of different ranges. I generally shy away from tuning 16s up this high, but this has actually given me some ideas about things that I could do that are specifically because of these head choices. Now on the flip side, if I was imagining wanting to tune a 10 and a 12 down in the gutter, I would immediately imagine using a head with a little more material there, either like a thicker single ply or a 2-ply, because you're starting to lean on the material of the head a little bit more when you get down in there because you're not really activating the shell that much. The head that you're using is kind of a larger part of the sound. Given that these are working really well at this super low tuning with no muffling, and again, 1-ply, 10 mil coated, just like the most ordinary thing ever. I think it's safe to say that as far as 10 mil coated, this is about as versatile as it gets, and I didn't have any trouble tuning any of these ranges either, which is a thing that can happen. Some heads like to go higher, and some heads are really great at being low. These are doing everything super easy. At this point in the industry, with things being so geared toward consumer loyalty and like brand identity and things like that, it seems to me like people don't always understand all of the variables that go into a thing like a drum head. And even to the point of being sort of like intense about only using one brand because they like a couple of the heads from that brand, and not even necessarily realizing that every head made by that company isn't even made from the same material. We've had a lot of heads on this kit, not only from Attack, but also from other companies. And the thing that it's taught me, and it's true today, it was true with every experiment that we've done here, is that there is more to learn. There's always more to learn, whether it's about switching up a brand for a minute or trying out different sorts of heads from the brand that you use, going with coated when you don't normally, going with clear when you don't normally, which is something that I've been doing. Listening with your ears, not listening with your eyes or necessarily even with your wallet, or your social media, whatever it is that takes you to the choices that you make. Just remember that at the end of the day, our ears are what we hear music with, and this is what these things are for. It's for making music, it's for making a beautiful sound, and for inspiring us to create. All right, that about wraps it up. Thanks so much to Attack for helping us out with all these drum heads, giving us the opportunity to do these deep dives and learn some things for ourselves, and for rounding out the end of the best 2020 that we could manage. We here at Sounds Like a Drum hope that your 2020 was not as bad as it could have been, and we're all looking forward to 2021. We're looking ahead to the next season, to making music with people again, and yeah, stay safe out there and keep drumming.